Welcome to Key Travels. My name is Amber Key, and I like to show you different videos of places and things that you can do while you are here in San Antonio. Whether you are visiting or you're a local like me and you're just trying to discover something new to do about your own city. Well, today I am back at Six Flags because they are celebrating Mardi Gras. I am super excited. It's one of my favorite times of year here at Six Flags. And today I actually am going to be part of the media event. So I kind of get a behind the stage back look at everything. I am really excited about this. So come along with me as we celebrate Mardi Gras. My favorite thing about Six Flags are the shows, and for Mardi Gras, they definitely went big. There are 6 different shows that you can go see, plus a parade, and this is how I would suggest that you see them so that you are able to see all of them, or mostly all of them. You do have to choose between the big easy band or the fleur-de-lis. However, this is definitely the best show schedule, so I would recommend maybe going 2 times so you can see everything. When you first enter the park, you're first going to see all of the gorgeous decorations that they have set up for Mardi Gras. And then there is also a stage that is right up front right in the middle of the Texas State Square Center. And this is where they have the first show that you'd be able to go see, which is Dance-Garade. And Dance-Garade mixes acrobats and singing and dancing as well. This is a revision show of one that they had last year, and I absolutely love the improvements that they made to this. It made this show so much better. It's so much more fun. I absolutely loved it. It was a great start for your Mardi Gras celebration here at Six Flags.
Everybody start to sing like Mardi Gras. Whoa, now you're singing with a swing.
After Dance-Garade, we went into one of the shops to look around and see what kind of merchandise they had. They had these really sparkly, fun hats that you could get. And then they also had the jester hats as well, so that you could fit in for Mardi Gras. So if you didn't come ready for the season, you can get ready for the season. They have everything that you need. They have the headbands. They have the mask. I absolutely love this jester mask right here. I thought this was absolutely beautiful. And then they also had the different things that you could do for your headbands. So they had this flower crown right here, which of course purple, green, and yellow for the Mardi Gras colors. And then they also had this big giant like headband hair bow that you could do as well, which I thought was adorable. And then they had this jester headband as well. So a lot of great merchandise that you could get. They also had shirts as well, so you could have a shirt. And then they had it in pink as well as in gray. And then there was also a purse that said Mardi Gras on it as well that you could get, so you could be festive and buy your materials. They had another style purse as well. And if you happen to come on a day it's chilly, they also have these in sweatshirts as well. Now, of course, when you think of Mardi Gras, you think of the food. And when you think of the food at Mardi Gras, you think of beignets. And they did have beignets that you could get. I did purchase some beignets. You normally get like 3 big pieces, and I got 2 big pieces and 3 small pieces. I have to say, I didn't like it. I thought that the dough tasted very oily. There was a little bit of flakiness to it, which I appreciated, but overall, I would say pass on it. Now, we did go and decide to watch the Looney Tunes show, which I have to say, it was so adorable. It was so much fun. I thought it was great for the whole family. This doesn't have to be just something for kids. I don't have kids with me, and my husband and I, we actually really enjoyed it. It was so good. The music selection was a lot of fun. The dancing was a lot of fun. So I would say don't pass this up. Go. It's a lot of fun. These characters are so cute. So unfortunately, the whole park is not decorated for Mardi Gras. Really, it's just the Fiesta Center and Rockville that is decorated. They do have a show that goes on. This is where the Fleur de Lis show goes on. And then you can also purchase some more food. So there's some food vendors and drink vendors here, where you can purchase more specialty drinks and food. Now, I have to mention, if you have a dining pass here, whether it's an all-season dining pass or a all-day dining pass, you can actually get these meals on your dining pass. So these are included as a meal, so you can do these as a food option if you want. If you want some gator bites, that's located over here by Scream and Pete's Eats, you can get that. In fact, we decided to try the gator bites on our all-season dining pass, and it was actually really good. So over by the Rockville High School, they have a craft corner for kids, so they can actually make crowns for Mardi Gras. So I think that's a lot of fun for kids to do. And then also over by Pete's Eats, there's a stage, and this is where the Big Easy Band performs. And let me tell you, this was absolutely fantastic. The singers for this are Charles, Garyon, and Xander. And if you've seen any of my previous videos for Six Flags, you know I love Garyon and Xander. And this was the first time I ever heard Charles, and he impressed me so much. These three guys together are absolutely amazing. Now, our original plan was we were only going to see about half of this show and then head over to Fleur de Lis and catch that show. However, once I saw that Garyon and Xander were a part of this show, I had to watch it, and you know what? No regrets. So this show was amazing.
For people out here today, we would especially like to welcome you, me, them, everybody, everybody.
Everybody needs somebody. Everybody needs somebody to love. Someone to love. Someone to love. Sweetheart to miss. Sweetheart to miss. Sugar to kiss. Sugar to kiss. With my baby in the streets, man. I never, never, never got a place to hide. I need you. I need you to love. I need you.
Yeah, yeah.
I need you.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm out to the party ground and kick my cross and come on down. Let's go to the party ground and kick my cross and come on down. Going out to the party ground and kick my cross and come on down. All the girlfriends from me.
Yeah,
Drinking a lot of beer.
yeah.
These boys definitely know how to get the Mardi Gras parties going. They were so great. This is a must-see when you come to the park to celebrate Mardi Gras here at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. Let me tell you. Now, I did catch the last end of the Fleur de Lis show, which this show is so cute. It's a comedic show, but there is still a lot of really great singing involved. I do have a clip of this show that I took last year, so I'm going to go ahead and show you a little clip of them singing one of the songs, because this is worth a shot for you to go see.
Sugar in the morning, sugar in the evening, sugar at supper time. Be my little sugar and love me all the time. Honey in the morning, honey in the evening, honey at supper time. So be my little honey and love me all the time. Put your
Now, I was there for the media day, and with that, once I checked in, I got this badge for media day, which included fast pass for rides, and then I was also given this goodie bag, and inside the goodie bag, there were these Mardi Gras bunny ears, because, with Bugs Bunny for Looney Tunes, so I had to represent the bunny with this, and so they were really cute. And then we also got some rock candy, which I have not eaten rock candy since I was like 10 years old. It's been a little bit. We're not going going to talk about or mention exactly how long of a bit it's been, but let's just say it's been a little bit. And we got three of the rock candy. We got, of course, purple, green, and yellow or gold for Mardi Gras. And then we also got these beads, again, purple, green, and gold. They were definitely keeping the color scheme in there for Mardi Gras. And then in addition, I got this magnet, which was really nice. It's a wooden magnet. You know that's going on my refrigerator. And then they also gave us these food passes. It says good for one drink, but they're actually good for one food item. So we got 3 of those. And then they gave us an event guide that we could look through so we could know when all of the shows are. And then since I was going to be in the float, I got my instructions on what to do with the float and how to get on the float. And then afterwards, we walked around Rockville a little bit. Now, there was more Mardi Gras decorations, but I have to ask, what's up with the decapitated heads here? I mean, were they like the dictators of Mardi Gras, of the king and queen, and that's why they lost their heads? I don't know, but this is where we met up for the media event right here in front of the Rockville High School, and they had a nice little display set up for us with all of the merchandise and the food items, so you got to see more of the hats. That purple mask right there, I actually bought that last year, and it's amazing. And then they had the jambalaya and the gator bites and the sausage and shrimp skewers out, the red beans and rice, so we could see what it all looked like. And then they had those crawfish nachos, which is a new item and looks really good. And then these gumbo ham pies, which are also new, and the crab mac and cheese, which they had last year, and then the loaded Cajun fries, which are also a new food item that they have. And then they showed us the shirt, and they have the display for the bag. And then the king cake bread pudding looks delicious, and those beignets, which I already had and I did not enjoy, but the king cake absolutely looks delicious. And then afterwards, I walked around a little bit, so you can see right there in front of Rockville, that's where they have one of the areas where you can buy drinks. And then there's also the Creole Cajun kitchen, where you can buy the nachos as well as that gumbo ham pie, which looked really good. After the media event, we decided to use our flash pass, or fast lane rather, and go ride on Wonder Woman. Now, most of the rides on this day, the lines were pretty much non-existent. There were walk-ons. However, for Wonder Woman, there would have been about a 30-minute wait for us. So having that media day pass that gave us the fast lane was really good. And let me tell you, this is such a fun ride, and it was going really fast this day. And then we got to see the little voodoo doll, which was really cute, outside of the high school. And then afterwards, we headed over to Sangerfest Hall, where we got to see the Bourbon Street Bellas. Now, this is a song and dance show with these 3 women here, and they were so good. They are so talented. I had a lot of fun watching this show. There was only one show time for this, so it was either watch it now or never, and it was so good. I loved it.
Take me away from my God. Tell me more. It's not a man today who could take me away from my God. I will follow him wherever he may go. There isn't an ocean too deep, no mountain so high it can keep me away. I will follow him.
So after that show, it's right next to where they sell the king cake bread pudding. So I had to try that. Yes, this is my second dessert for the day. Don't judge. It was delicious. And then over here by where they have the Hustler ride, you can get the bacon voodoo, which is the bacon wrapped boudin balls and the bacon wrapped andouille sausage. And then they also had the Bayou Bites located here, which is where you can get the shrimp andouille skewer and the jambalaya, as well as the crab mac and cheese. And then Black Magic, which is one of the places that you can go for the specialty drinks. So you can get your fish bowl here, and then we walked around, saw the decorations at Rockville. It was really nice seeing the Mardi Gras decorations. It was very festive. And then there's also one of those displays where you can get Mardi Gras beads, and I just loved all of the decorations that they had around in the Rockville area. I would love to see in the future the whole park look like this. That would be amazing, to be able to see the whole entire park done up with the Mardi Gras. But right now we just have Rockville and the Fiesta. But now it's time to go see Voodoo Dolls. Now, Voodoo Dolls was a show that was brand new last year. It actually won the Golden Ticket Award for Best New Show last year. So I was super excited to see this show because it is amazing. And one of my favorite singers, Jennifer Espinoza, was back for this show. She played the witch for the Love one, and she has an amazing voice. This is such an amazing show. They have 3 different show times that you can go and see this show. I highly recommend that you see this at some point because it is phenomenal.
The cards will tell. Gather close if you dare, for you're about to meet the most powerful women in the realm of spirit and flesh. 4 queens who rule the unseen. The whispers of the past follow them from the shadows, and they channel the power of the ethereal into solid flesh. They are the heart of the voodoo world, each one a force unto herself. But together they form a coven so powerful, they can reshape the very fabric of fate. Here they come. Are you ready? Ready? Transformation central. Reformation central. Transformation central. Can you feel it? You're changing, alright. I hope you're satisfied. But if you ain't, don't blame me. You can blame my friends on the other side. The undying Queen Delphine, the daunting witch who deftly conjures spells of deathless dominion. The lascivious Queen Lavigne, she lashes out love spells, luring hearts with a luscious and luminous magic. The masterful Queen Marguerite, she manipulates magic, making masses of men and maidens magnificently wealthy with her mystical spells. The capable Queen Camille, the cunning conjurer, who captivates with curses and crafts chaos to cruelly accomplish her coveted revenge. The queens sense your desperation. They are the ones who hear the cries of that which you crave: wealth, love, revenge, immortality. Whatever it is you desire most, you cannot conjure it for yourself. Lucky for you, that's where we come in.
Girls got fight for a rightful stand. What you gonna do when the chips are down? Now that the chips are down. What you gonna do when the chips are down? Now that the chips are down.
Holds dominion over the world in her own way. Together, they are the pulse of voodoo, the ones who call the shots in the spiritual world, and who can harm or heal, bless or curse
So after that fantastic show, I had about 15 minutes to kill before I needed to check in for the parade so I could go on the float. We're right here on the boardwalk area. So we decided to go where they have these rockers, which this is such an underrated area right here. These rockers were such a vibe. It was such a beautiful day. I enjoyed this so much. Then afterwards, I headed over to Pirates of the Deep because on the side of the building, that's where we would go to line up. And then they would hand us a costume to put on and also a mask to wear. If you had sunglasses, you didn't get a mask. Or like me, I already had a mask, so I just got to wear my mask that I already had. And of course, I got purple because that's one of my favorite colors. And then we were sent to the back area where they had the floats and given instructions. It was really nice getting a nice behind the scenes look of the park and getting to see all of the performers as they were getting ready and lined up, and it was really nice seeing everybody. I was on Gator Float, so I was on Gator Float B, which was the middle section. I also got to see a lot of other fellow YouTubers like JB Thrills. Now he does content for Over Texas, Fiesta Texas, Six Flags Over Texas in Dallas. And so make sure you follow JB Thrills. He was on Gator Boat A. And then we went over to our float. So they had a little step stool for us to climb up so that we could get into the float. And then they had beads on these little racks that were all ready for us to throw. And I was even on the same float as Hemisphere, who does a lot of content about Six Flags Fiesta Texas, as well as some other theme parks. So make sure you follow him. And yeah, it was just really great getting a nice behind scenes look at the park. So I really enjoyed this because you normally don't get to see this. I was just so happy to be here. I was just having a great time already. I was so excited. I loved getting the viewpoint of Poltergeist. So I thought this was a really great view of Poltergeist. This is one of my favorite rides in the park. I didn't ride it this time, but it definitely is one of my favorite rides in the park to go on when I'm here. And then we got to see the costumes for the performers, which were amazing. They definitely bring that Mardi Gras party vibe. And now we are not allowed to record during the parade. So we were able to record whenever the floats weren't moving. But once they started moving, we had to stop. But like during the dance break that they have, we were able to record. And I had so much fun. I loved handing out the beads and seeing all of the kids smile when you would hand out the beads. The problem is, I think I was a little bit too generous with throwing my beads because I kind of ran out. And about halfway through, I ran out of beads. I looked at my people who are next to me and my neighbors, and they still seem to have plenty of beads left, and I was completely out of beads. So I was definitely a little bit too generous, I guess, with throwing the beads. So the rest of the time I just kind of smiled and waved at everybody and danced to the music. But you know what, I had such a great time. And I was fortunate enough that my husband, he was staying in the crowd, so he was able to record the parade for me. Now I do have a recording of this parade in its entirety on another video. So if you want to check that out, if you want to see the video in its entirety, go check out that other video, and so that you can see it. I did take out the dance break for that recording because of copyrighted music. However, you do get to see the rest of the parade. Like I said, I absolutely loved all of the costumes. I love seeing the characters, the Looney Tunes characters. And these floats were actually actual real Mardi Gras floats that were used in New Orleans that they got from previous parades from New Orleans. So these are official ones. I'm assuming the props were probably made in Mardi Gras World, which I was lucky enough to go to Mardi Gras World when I recently came back from a trip to New Orleans. Again, go check out those videos because I had recently finished posting all of my videos on New Orleans, and I have a video all about Mardi Gras World and how we went to Mardi Gras World. And that's where a lot of these props for these floats were made, was in Mardi Gras World. So definitely go check out that video if you want to learn more about the floats from Mardi Gras World. But yeah, this parade was so great. They had a lot of dancing, and everyone seemed to have such a great time. There were so many beads being tossed out. Every single float had people on it. I believe they said that they had enough space for 50 people. So there was 50 people on these floats on, both sides, that were tossing out beads to everyone. So everyone had plenty of beads. I know a lot of people still had beads left on the float I was on. Again, I don't know how they managed that, because I was handing out, tossing beads left and right to everybody. I was giving everybody beads. So I was having a good time. And so I ran out of beads. How everyone else did not run out of beads is beyond me. I have no idea how they managed that. But it was such a great time. It was such a great party vibe. This parade lasted about, I would say probably about 12 to 15 minutes in total. That's including the dance break that they had. So yeah, it was a decent sized parade, I thought. Not huge by any means. It wasn't like 30 minutes or an hour long. So yeah, it was only about 15 minutes or so long. But it was still a lot of fun, and it definitely brought that party vibe. And it went all the way from like the Rockville area, and it went all the way through the DC area. And here comes my float right here, the Gator float. So I'm right there in the middle, Gator float B. You can see me in the purple. You can see me a little bit. My husband kind of put the camera down to catch some beads, but you got to see a little bit of me. There I am, right there. So I was just having such a blast. I really was. At this point, I still had beads to toss out, but shortly after this is when I ran out of my beads. And then after the Gator boat is the King and Queen of Mardi Gras float, which is the last float of the parade. And of course, who else would be the King and Queen of Mardi Gras but Bugs Bunny and Lola Bunny herself? So those were the King and Queen of Mardi Gras, was Bugs Bunny and Lola Bunny. I thought they looked so spectacular, and I loved their float. And then after the parade, we were able to see Miss Kitty, because even Miss Kitty is all decked out for Mardi Gras. She looks spectacular in purple, green, and gold. And then we decided to go and use our ticket, our fast lane pass rather, to go on Iron Rattler. So we had a choice. We could either go over to Iron Rattler side, Crack Axle Canyon, ride Iron Rattler, or we could go grab some more food. We decided to ride Iron Rattler. Neither of us were that hungry anyway. So actually the only things I ate in this park were the beignets and the king cake. Don't judge. That's all I had was sweets for this day for my, I guess, my lunch and dinner. But oh well, it is what it is. It was really good. Next time I'm going to try the gumbo pie though. But after we rode Iron Rattler, the sun kind of started to set. We did ride Boomerang, which I didn't get a video of that. But I was able to get this video to capture all of the lights, because it is all lit up for Mardi Gras, and it's so colorful. They have all of the different colors. They also have the purple and the green on the buildings, and it was absolutely spectacular. Six Flags was amazing, and this was a great way to leave the park and seeing all of these lights and everything in its spectacular beauty. And of course, we took some photos throughout the day. So this was taken at the beginning of the front of the park. And so we had a lot of fun taking these photos. And also of the decorations, which I thought were so beautiful. And then here's a picture of me with Jennifer Espinoza. I love her. She has a great voice. And me with Hemisphere and some random dude. I don't know who the guy in green was, but that's Hemisphere. And then our ride on Iron Rattler. My husband blocked my face, but we had fun. So I had an absolute fabulous time at Six Flags for Mardi Gras. If you want to celebrate Mardi Gras here in San Antonio,
This is the biggest Mardi Gras celebration probably in Texas. I mean, they had so much going on. There were so many different shows. Every single one of them was fantastic. They had actual live singing, which I really love. I really appreciate that over the having like a recording. There's so much to do. You could fill an entire day just on shows alone. My only regret is that I wasn't able to try more of the food, because the food looks so delicious, but I just wasn't hungry. You know, I did have some sweets. I did eat sweets like all day. That's all I had. But calories don't count when you're walking a theme park, right? I think that's how it works. I don't know. I think that's how it works. Calories don't work when you're walking a theme park. We're going to go with that because I did a lot of walking today. I had so much fun and it was really great. Like I said, I suggest you come. Mardi Gras here is a whole vibe. It's a whole vibe. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe, because it really goes a long way with helping me grow as a channel. And remember, I am the key to your best vacation.